Yes.
Yeah, for example, here we have the shaded area or the area where we have like the sectional line
Yeah.
downside.
Okay. Okay.
What does it exactly represent? It's not mentioned in the legend or.
Yeah, the shaded area is the hydraulic design area and need not to be mentioned. The meaning of the shade is what this is a most hydraulically demanding region, the hydraulic calculation. But if you remember from the Elite software, we says that there need to be some kind of node numbering, right, from the most remote location. Node 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Mhm.
6, and so on. But they have not mentioned this one. So this is the one of the deficiency in the drawing. You must need a node numbering on this point, right? And if you look at this drawing in the this section in the workshop building, right? 013, the distance between two sprinklers is 4.7, right? So as for NFPA, the maximum they have given 4.6. So this something look like more than the allowances, which is not acceptable, right? So at least the maximum distance should be 4.6, but no one putting that one. They are just placing around 3.7 to 4 meters, but it is even 100 mm higher than that one, which might lift these areas without any water discharge in case of the fire. This is the one, and let's have a let's look some general things on the drawings. Here it should be the point of compass showing the direction to the north or the south, right? Those information are not there in the drawing. So this is this they should have put this one at this location. And if you are looking at the key point, here we have the blank space at the top, right? And just wait a moment. This area is blank. They should put the key plan. The key plan means which area they are exactly talking about this doing, or where this office is placed inside those the master plan. Those information are not there, and this is our underground networks, right? So from this network, they are taking the connection to the risers, right? Here we have they're showing the riser is going upwards, correct? And this pipe, the one in the purple color, it is the main branch line, and from that they have given line to all our branches,
So
and it is going.
this is
Yeah,
the riser, Mr. Rabi.
yeah. This is a riser coming from all the way from the below ground. You can see here is the riser connection, right?
So what's the
And
problem?
no, there is no problem. I'm just showing how the drawing is going coming. There is no problem in that.
Ah, okay.
The purple was in the riser, right? And the remaining one in the red is the sprinkler piping, right? And if you can see at the most remote location, they have provided one. They have provided one 25 mm test and drain connection as per the design requirement, right? And
Here, Mr. Rabi, there will be a separate drawing, one for the sprinkler, one for this detection, right?
no, this is only for the sprinkler system and detection system is not interconnected. If we are talking about the sprinkler system plan, we don't have to worry about the detection system.
Because
But
they are already mentioning the electrical room Novak system.
yeah, this is the other plan. We are just focusing on our sprinkler system at this moment.
Oh,
So we are not focusing on this FM200 system. Yeah, inside the office there is some electrical room that they have protected with FM200 system with a capacity of 40 kilogram and 160-degree nozzle at the center. But this is not our part for reviewing the sprinkler system. We are
oh,
just focusing on the sprinkler system. And now if you and legend, right here we have the nodes should be there on the drawings. All diameter are in millimeters unless otherwise noted. Should be as for NFPA 13, right? The pipe size should be as for NFPA 13. Pipe and fitting, everything they have given. the portable fire extinguisher as for NFPA 10, because you can see there is portable fire extinguisher also in these areas. We have the portable fire extinguishers. Now we have to make sure that what is the maximum distance between two portable fire extinguishers. As for we discussed in the fire extinguisher in fire protection 2, the maximum distance is around 75 feet, right? Uh, for class A hazard, right? And the office comes under that. So in this case, we have one sprinkler at this location at one entrance, and the other one we have at the last one.
Yeah.
We have to just make sure the maximum distance between these two shall not be more than 75 feet, because this is the office area must be ordinary hazard, right? And they have the scale, right? They have given the scale 1:200, so it's okay. We have to go with the 1:200 scale, and here they have given the legion, right? The one in the purple is the fire water main line, the one I was just talking with Ahmed. The red one is the sprinkler piping, and this legion you can see the FE1 and FE2. These are the symbol for fire extinguishers, and this symbol should be exactly matching the NFPA 170 requirement. NFPA 170, which is for the symbol for fire protection equipment. All kind of those system will be finding here. So they have 10 pounds FM approved CO2 portable fire extinguishers and 10 pounds ABC type. Since the CO2 they have may require in the case of electrical fire, and the ABC is for the multi-purpose. Then we have the pendant sprinkler head, the fire bridge cabinet, fire department connection. We have these symbols: zone control valve, Novec cylinder they have given, and Novec cylinders nozzles details. Everything they have given. And this one is the designer, right? Designer name, date of design, sign, contractor, and all. So this drawing is not approved, meaning this is not approved by the fire protection consultant. If this drawing is approved, there should be some stamp of the consultant, right? So that based on that, they will proceed with the construction of this plant. So it is not approved one. Yes, it is made by the contractor for the project, but unless there is a stamp on this side, this must be at this location, right? It is not approved one.
Mr. Rabi, what about the pump selection and the tank? Is it mentioned here?
No, this is just our it is just for the sprinkler system, right? So if you can see the design, I'll come to that one. I'll come to that one. Here we have let's go to that point directly. Here we have a sprinkler system design basis, and this information should be always on all sprinkler system plan drawing, right? If this is our layout drawing, or let's say plan, should be pasted on the information should be there at some corner in the drawing space. And coming to your question, you says about what is our pump requirement. A sprinkler system design or calculation never said that we need this much capacity of the pump for this application. They only says that this is our demand, which is 416 GPM at 48.28 psi. Now it is consultant. It is the one consultant will ask that give me some evidence to make sure that this much supply is available. So maybe those supply from the underground fire water networks, or if you want the fire pump on this one. So those fire pumps supply 416 GPM at 48.28 psi. Based on that, you can select your fire pump. Your fire pump can supply this much flow at this much pressure. Now you can select based on your skills what we learn in fire pump design, right? How to select the pump performance curve and all those, and you can select. No issue with that. But this will never tell what is the capacity of the pump. We just want to make sure what is the size of the pump for these applications from the data sheet of the fire pump, or if there is a existing fire water networks, we just want to make the pump flow test to make sure that at this time connection, this is our time point, right? This is for one of the existing plant, right? So this is the time point. Let me support that at this point I am getting the exact flow and requirement, right? This is all about availability at the pump. Now, Ahmad, you can, yeah, tell me.
Yes, continue.
Now you can select a pump which can supply 416 GPM at 48.28 psi. Even you can use a pump of around 250 GPM, 300 GPM, which can easily flow. We usually supply this much pressure because at around 120%, it will 120 or 130% they will meet this requirement. The one we discussed in the fire protection design, right? How to read the pump curve and how to select the pump. Between 90% of the flow all the way up to 140% we can use, right? So now at this point you have to use your skills of fire pump design techniques. Maybe the pump manufacturer or the contractor who is supplying the pump, he say 416 GPM we don't have in the market. What I recommend, just have a 550 GPM pump or 500 GPM pump, right, for this application. Now you will be buying a pump of higher capacity for this small application. You are losing your money. But at the same time, recall the one discussion we have in our pump design talks, the performance curve, how it is working at no flow condition, at overload condition, at full flow capacity. If you recall all those points, you will be not getting uh, trapped with those manufacturer or the contractor who is trying to give you the high capacity pump. Got the point?
Uh-huh. So after يعني this values sprinkler demand as per hydraulic calculation. This values we get it from the, for example, Elite software.
Exactly, we got
Yes.
it from the Elite software. Exactly.
Yes. After that, we use what we have taken the pump selection to decide the pump performance and see what it is the most appropriate for this application.
Yeah, exactly. Even you can choose a pump of 500 GPM for this application if you want, and if you know if there is a future extension, right? So based on those you can select your pump, right? But if you know this is just a small warehouse, you want approval from the civil defense, nothing more, then better to go at around 120% of the flow, which is like if you are selecting 300 GPM pump, it can easily supply at 130% of the flow or 140% of the flow. You got the point?
Yes, and also it depends the availability in the market also.
Yeah, market it is available. Yeah, it's maybe you can guess the exactly the contractor will let you know that what is available in the market. You have to believe them because they are the one who is bringing it in the market. Right?
Exactly, and I asked an engineer, a safety engineer. He told me we have specific kinds of bumps. And it is something like by default. If it is warehouse,
Yeah.
just use that one. If it is, just use specific kinds of bump. They by experience, they know how much and what's available in the market.
No, it's not like that. NFPA. If you're going to NFPA 20, they said that we have these are the following standard of the pump from 25 GPM all the way to 5,000 GPM. So there are more than around 20 or 25 different types of the pressure and those limits. So not 25, but make sure that there should be a pump in the market which is giving 100 GPM or 200 GPM or 300 GPM. This range is there in the market. What you have to do, if the contractor is playing with you, you will direct look for the manufacturer, like the one who is manufacturing the pump. Let's say NAFCO or Peterson Pump or Grundfos. Go to their site directly, make contact with them, and then try to coordinate with them. But this is just like for one small office areas. Your pump requirement is much more higher than this in most of the cases. Then you have to select for pump with 500 GPM or 750 GPM based on your application.
Yes, now it's clear.
So if you are looking this sprinkler system design, the first one they are talking is a wet pipe system. Okay, the hazard classification is the ordinary hazard one they have selected. The design area, even I don't know why they have selected ordinary hazard one for this area, because there is nowhere any mechanical room, right? There is nowhere any mechanical room in this area. You can see there is no mechanical room. It's all the office areas. There is only one small electrical room that they already protected with the FM200 system, and there is no sprinkler system in that. So there is no point of making ordinary hazard one. But okay, if you are going higher than the required, that is a plus point. There is no issue. Go with that one, right? Okay, they have electrical workshop. I think they have electrical workshop, right? So maybe for this one they have used the light hazard the extra hazard occupancies, it's okay. But if you can see the design area for the ordinary hazard, they have chosen the 1500 square feet, right? And they have taken the density 0.08, but I don't think those density is applicable. The density is not good for ordinary hazard 1. Let's see the NFPA 13 table, what they are saying. NFPA 13 table. NFPA 13 is in the system, right? I'll go directly to those design density curve. Chapter 11, right? It will be in chapter 11. Okay, we went to the 14. Okay, here we have a design density curve for the ordinary hazard occupancies, right? The minimum design density is 0.10, right? And the maximum is 0.15, right? So if they have selected area of around 1500 square feet, and for 1500 square feet, the minimum design density should be 0.15, right? But they have selected the design density, if you can see, 0.08 for 1500 square feet. Nowhere in this density curve you can see the last one we can use 0.10, right? At the 0.10 we can use this much value, so it is not possible, right? You got the point?
Yes, so it is light hazard, not ordinary hazard.
No, but they have selected the ordinary hazard, so we don't have to use consider the light hazard. Maybe once you approved your plan and later they said, okay, you approved our plan from the ordinary hazard, okay, we are going to put something in that. Now the consultant will be in the questions, right? So either you ask them to make sure what is the hazard which we are going to consider, because you have given in the plan that this is ordinary hazard 1, we are going to keep it that. But okay, for 1500 square feet, try to keep the density 0.15, not the 0.07, which is for the light hazard occupancy. Even if you are using the last one at this location, which is 0.10, the area you have to consider is 4000 square feet, right, for the ordinary hazard. But they have not considered that much area also. They have considered 1500 square feet.
So for the
So this is one of the deficiency. This is one of the biggest deficiency, right? Which is not.
So here, Mr. Rabi, they either change the hazard classification or change the density, right?
Yeah. They have, in this case, let's keep in mind this is ordinary hazard 1 occupancy. It is best. It is up to the designer which hazard he is selecting. Once he selected the hazard, he have to follow everything based on that hazard. And if those hazard is higher than everything, then it's okay. But if you selected the light hazard, but the building is with the ordinary hazard, that is not possible. Higher to lower is possible, but lower to higher is not possible.
Yeah.
So he have to take 0.15 for this one, the minimum density, so that it will be acceptable, right? And the maximum spacing is 4.8 meter, right? It's by default. It is also not acceptable, right? But you know, there we have the 4.8 meters. You have to look that one in the design table. Otherwise, they will play with, you know, sometimes they will play it all those time. And what is more mistakes here? I want you guys to find out the mistakes here. I want you guys to find out. Just let me know in this design density.
They said the maximum spacing 4.8.
Which is not acceptable. 4.6 is the maximum as per NFPA 13.
Yes.
Yes. And then they have used K factor 5.6, it's okay, acceptable, right?
Mhm.
But how about sprinkler type?
Sprinkler type standard response upright.
What is the meaning? What is the need of upright? What is the need of upright sprinkler
Yeah.
for those applications, right?
Yes, no, they have to use banded sprinkler.
Yeah, they must use pendant in the finished level sprinkler, right? And also, why should be the standard response? When NFPA said if you are protecting the which is protecting with the offices and all, should be quick response sprinkler, right? Because it is more related to the life safety response. It will activate much faster than the standard response. So here they have used the upright, which is not possible for the finished selling. It's the office area totally finished selling. So they should go with the pendant type, right?
Yes, pendant type with a quick response.
Yeah, with the quick response pendant type. And what about the temperature ratings?
This table has a lot of deficiencies, huh?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Because this deficiency were made by me. I want you guys to, and there is
Uh-huh.
no deficiency at all, but this modified by me for some of my previous projects, so that once you are going to review the plan, it's come into
Is
your
it,
mind, then what I'm going
Rafi,
to miss.
this is your project?
Yeah,
This is your project, huh?
yeah. I did it around 5 years back. 5 or 6 years back. So I just used to, play with those values and all, so that I want the one who is doing the plan to catch the point directly. What could be the mistake in a sprinkler system plan? You got the point. So normally in the office room it is 68 degrees Celsius, right? Not 79 degrees Celsius. And 4.8 is wrong. It is totally wrong. And the maximum protection per sprinkler 225 square feet. I think that also we have to look into chapter 8 of NFPA. This is all how you are going to see the drawing. Got the point?
Yes, you need to
And
be accurate and recall
yeah.
all the informations that you have studied before. This is sometimes you need to, after all, back to the checklist.
Yeah, this is why I said you that at this moment you cannot use the checklist because there is lots of information in that. But if you have enough time, just use the checklist, put a tick one by one, and you will come to the point.
Mhm.
And here is the
Yeah.
graphical skills. Yeah,
Uh,
In
Rafi,
order not to
without
just miss, in order not to
without
just miss
checklist,
any point, I think
yeah,
that the only way is to follow this checklist, right?
yeah. This is the way when I was working with my project, when I was approving my plan with the fire protection consultant, I remember I submit fire alarm plan to them for approval. Even though I'm not an electrical engineer and not having more details knowledge of the electrical parts with the fire alarm. What he did in response, he gave lots of comment and he gave me the checklist from NFPA 72. That is a checklist of around 10 pages. He said, follow the minimum requirement from them and come back to me. So no, those checklists are a vital for all the consultant. They just send you the checklist and follow this checklist and then submit your plan with the revision.
If you follow the checklist, then at least you will minimize any mistakes or
Yeah, any
deviations
mistakes.
from the plan.
Yeah, any mistakes. Because all the
Mr.
checklists you
Rafi,
cannot follow. Yes.
checklist, I am make it or back to NFPA for
Checklist,
checklist.
you can get checklist easily from NFPA handbook. Might be there will be checklist in NFPA handbook, not in the code, but in the handbook it is there. Or you have to get more experience or more knowledge. You have to get more experience on the project. Maybe after 5 or 6 years, you will be easily understand what is the things which is missing in the plan. But at the beginning of those, the checklist is the
Yes,
vital words. Yeah.
yeah, clear. And the logo and symbols, this very important for.
All of the consultant having the checklist for all kind of the fire protection equipment for sprinkler system, fire alarm system, FM200 system and all. They have made that based on NFPA code and standard requirement, or they have taken from some ULFM guidelines, or maybe from some of the jurisdiction, some of the civil defense team, or as they have their own checklist requirement. So you have to follow that one. It's like based on project to project.
Mr. Rabi,
Yeah.
also for the branch, the maximum sprinklers in each branch must be less than 8 or equal to 8.
No, there is nothing like that. If you are following the hydraulic calculation requirement, there is no limit on that. There is no limit on that if you are following the hydraulic calculations. If there is a 8 sprinkler in one branch, try to start with 2.5 inch pipe. 2.5 inch go up to some sprinkler, then give 2 inch, then 1/4 and all. So there is no limit on that. That is a limit for a pipe schedule method, not with the hydraulic calculation method. The point. So this is all about sprinkler system plan. I think I hope you guys have to make some list and submit this so get more information from this class one by one. Use a checklist and all. No one will make this much mistake because I have did lots of mistakes just for you guys to catch, but you guys didn't point at those locations. I explained before you guys. So what I'm going to do, the next one, I'm not going to help you out. Next one, I'm going to give you like a assignment with the warehouse sprinklers, and you have to list out the mistakes in those drawings. What the point?
Yep. Mr. Rabi, here, shall we mention here, for example, the type of piping, all these to be mentioned here, or there is
Yeah, it
one?
should be mentioned. It should be mentioned here in the key plan, right? In the notes here should be. They said already the sprinkler system installation shall be as for NFPA 13. So if it is as for NFPA 13, without mentioning that also, you can ask the designer to put the NFPA 13 piping. But most of the consultant ask that write the types and schedule of the piping. Like the sprinkler piping shall be galvanized with carbon steel HTMA 53 schedule 40 minimum, like that, and blah blah blah. Those should be there, but they have not put it there. The notes should be not only 9, it must be around 14 to 15. They have not given all notes here in the drawings.
Okay. But the proper way is to mention it clearly in the notes.
Yeah, to mention the clearly pipe types, schedule, galvanization required or not, right? And they have not given those information, right? Where is the location for the hangers? Okay, they have given the hangers location. Is there any location for the hangers? No, they have not given the hanger location on this drawing, right? There should be the location for the hangers. How they are going to hang this pipe, right? There is no location for the hangers, and you
Yeah.
never know what is the maximum distance they are going to follow. They must put a symbol of the hangers on the pipe only. Should something like the, if you can see this one, the diagonal line should be there, because without those hangers we cannot make sure that what is the distance between two hangers, and what is the distance without hanger for the last stage sprinklers. Also, you have to get the complete data sheet, right? Data sheet of the sprinkler system, valves, accessories, sprinklers, hangers, and all, along with this plan. Because the plan is okay, the data sheet you have to look for the UL and FM approvals, correct size, and all.
Also to verify the spacing, right? As per
Yeah, the maximum spacing as per the sprinkler requirement. If you are going to the general notes, here we have different symbols, right? The main fire line, the sprinkler system, OSY type gate valve, all information as a general they have given in this page. And if you can see here, general notes they have given about NFPA 13, piping shall be galvanized as per standards and all, graphic standards, right? Provide pipe sleeve for all pipe penetrating through valves, right? Normally, if there is a pipe crossing through a wall and which is fireproofing materials, or you need the sleeves, this should be provided as per the requirement. They have given requirement for the portable fire extinguishers for the fire hose cabinet in this one. And the page third is the installation drawing for all, right? How they are going to install this sprinkler, right? What is the types of the sprinkler, right? What are those fittings and all? How they are going to install inside that one? This is for the pendant sprinkler here, right? Details. Look, if you can look into the drawing, they mentioned there they are using upright sprinkler, right? Standard response upright, and they have given details for pendant type. So ask them to verify what types of the sprinkler they are going to use. For the finished ceiling, it must be the pendant one. They have to change into the general details, right? In this one, and now we have the maximum installation details. This is the installation detail of the fire extinguisher, right? So the top of the fire extinguisher is 1.5 meters from the finished floor level. Now look into the NFPA 10, what is the maximum allowed? I think 1.5 is allowed or not, we have to make sure that. Because recently they changed the maximum height areas. Earlier it was something there, and now they have changed. It is something like 1.2 meters from the top of the discharge. You have to look for the NFPA 10 requirement. If it is not in that limit, they have to reduce that one.
Mr. Rabi, what about fire department connection?
Yeah, here is the fire department connection, right? They have given the fire department connection, right? We'll go one by one, right? They have given the must remote sprinkler pipe penetrating. They have given a test and drain valve connection, which is okay. Test and drain valve and all. Fire department connection. Let's see if they have provided drawing or not. This is the alarm check valve. Alarm check valve, right? They have just copy and pasted from the drawing. If you can look the alarm check valve, we have a 150 line, right? 150 line, and we have a OSI type gale valve, and then we have alarm check valve of 6 inch. There is a FDC connection, fire department connection, right? Those fire department connections require separate drawing, how they are going to connect. Then what is the FS? Anyone?
The flow switch.
Yeah, the flow switch. Now, if there is a flow switch, they should be connect this flow switch to fire alarm panel. Those drawing need to be provided and coordinated along with the fire alarm team. How they are going to connect this one to the fire alarm panel to make sure how it is going to activate the alarm in case of the water flow. And then they have given a zone control valve. It's okay. Now the fire department connection. Let me see if they have provided or not. So we discussed about the sprinkler system, extinguishers, drain pipe, risers. Now let's look for the schedule of the hangers. They are going to use these hangers, all those rod sizes, and should be as per this schedule, right? This is a pipe dimension, and this is the pipe size, and this is the dimension in millimeters. This is as for NFPA chapter 9 of NFPA 13 chapter 9. So if it is applicable to that one, it's okay, right? But again, they have not specified the maximum distance between two hangers, right? Should be there. You have to read the data sheet of the hangers to make sure that the hanger is UL listed or FM approved. Otherwise, it is not acceptable. If the ASJ is accepting it, okay, we don't want that much quality, it's okay. But if it is totally a requirement for UL or FM, then we have to ask for those data sheet. Now they are given for the fire extinguisher connection, right? Here we have a fire extinguishers finished full level along with a multi-purpose ABC powder box, three-way nozzles, and everything is look nice. A pressure reducing angle valve they have given. Yeah.
3-way mean level 3 or?
I think we have three-way 25. Maybe three types of the. I don't know exactly this one. I have to read the data sheet for that one. For that, you have to also ask.
This is hose reel, huh? Hose reel.
Yeah, it's just hose reel, but I don't know why they have used the three-way types. It is just the hose reel of 40 mm diameter, so it's 25 mm. Those information we can get from the data sheet how they are going to use this nozzle. And then we have a pressure reducing valve, angle valve, right, to reduce to control the flow from this one, and it is coming from the main pipe. That's also okay. And then they have given this is the fire hose cabinet, right? The fire department connection, I think, missing from the drawing, or it is there at the bottom maybe. Yeah, here we have the fire department connection, right? This is our 2.5 inch connection, two numbers of the connection, and 100 mm pipe. They have given a check valve, right? And this check valve will be allowing only water flow in one direction, and this is our risers. So it looks nice. The fire department connection, they have used the same pipe as a riser. But if you want to further ask them, the check valve need to have one arrow. Those arrows say what is the direction of the check valve, how water is flowing. The water should always flow from this side, not from this side. So there should be some marking, some arrow that flow is only in the forward direction, not one in the backward direction. And then they have given the requirement for zone control valve. This project don't require zone control valve, but they have used it unconditionally. This is only one small floor office area, and they have used the zone control valve just to make more money for this project. They don't need zone control valve for this one, right? So these are some of the equipment of the zone control valve. It works as a isolation valve for the maintenance. Zone means if there is a more than three story. I don't remember exactly. As for NFPA 13 requirement, if the floor area is higher than that, or if the number of a story is more than 3, I think more than 3, we need a zone control valve. So now this is a riser going all the way to the top floor, maybe 4, 5, 6, and so on. And on this floor, it is connected to a zone control valve. This is our isolation valve. We can close this valve for the maintenance. and it is a supervised one. Once we close, it is giving a signal to fire alarm panel, someone is opening this one. And we have a gauge to make sure what is the pressure we have. We have a flow switch also. It will tell us, let's say on a 10 floor building, exactly where exactly there is fire, right? So this water flow switch will be connected to the control panel. Now those, how they are going to interface with the control panel, they have not given those details. You have to ask that one. And then we have a check valve and a test and drain valve connection for the complete specification. So this is all about how, just a basic requirement, how the sprinkler system works, you know. Yes.